Hey guys, Pro1701 here, and today we're going to talk about Revolution of the Daleks, the Doctor Who Festive special, which aired a few days ago. Um, it was okay. I'm not thrilled about it. I didn't dislike it. I didn't really like it. It's just kind of middle ground to me. We're talking 6.5 out of 10 maybe area. I do love seeing Captain Jack back. I do like Jack Harkness. But it's a tell to how far the show has fallen that one of the most exciting things is having this legacy character back, this character from a better era of the show back. And John Barrowman's always great in that role. But him being one of the best parts of the episode, you shouldn't have to bring back characters from Russell's era or Steven's early era or anything like that just to boost your ratings. And I like a lot of the moments Jack has. I love that Jack gets to meet 13 and hang out with her and interact with her. That's really nice. I love his little opening bit and how he breaks her out and where he has his manipulator hidden. A nice little callback to season 1. I love the conversation he has with Yaz. It's a very serious moment because Jack can be very serious. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen Jack have serious moments. And that's a beautiful, touching moment about... basically about how your time with the Doctor is limited. Something is always going to happen at some point to separate a companion from the Doctor. It's just how it is. The moment with Ryan and the Doctor doesn't feel as touching to me. Because my problem with Whittaker's Doctor, she seems so uncertain. Which, don't get me wrong, she went through a lot at the end of season 12. I mean, to question who she is as a person, I get why that could shake somebody. But the Doctor is supposed to be more confident than that. Not quite so lost. I mean, he went through something like the Time War and got over it and kept going. So to see her so uncertain, which is my problem with Jodie's Doctor to begin with. She's very unsure of herself. She doesn't know how to deal with emotion. She's like an emotional child sometimes. She doesn't have an emotional maturity. I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of the times. And she seems so uncertain and not in control in that conversation. I think Cole does a great job in that scene. And Jodie does a great job with the writing she's getting. That scene falls flat to me. I didn't really care for it, that whole scene between the two. The guy who's supposed to be basically Trump, I don't really care for him as a person. He's not quite a cartoon character at this one, at least. He's a little more believable. And he does have some amusing lines, which I like. But I don't really care for him as a character. I'd only like to see him come back to kind of maybe have an episode where he gets what he deserves. That'd be kind of nice. I like the idea of the human-made Dalek drones. And I like that she calls the regular Daleks to take care of them because the Daleks are the ultimate prejudiced. It's a nice callback to Remembrance of the Daleks, which I called. I remember when I was talking about what I wanted from this, what I expected from this story, I was expecting it to be more like Remembrance of the Daleks with two factions of Daleks fighting. And I expected that would happen when I found out he'd cloned them and kind of changed some stuff. I like the fact that regular Daleks aren't having that crap. I hate that we don't really get to see them fight, though. Most of the newer Daleks get destroyed off camera. We don't really get to see the Dalek Civil War. My biggest complaint about this story is while it's longer than a traditional episode, it doesn't feel like it. Like, it still feels too short to me, even though it's longer. It feels like it's not long enough. Like, it'd work better maybe as a two-parter or something. But I know when I watched it and it was over, I'm like, man, that didn't go very long. And then I looked at the running time and I'm like, really? Because it still feels like it's not long enough to tell the story it's trying to tell. You know, having all the Daleks, the newer Daleks, get destroyed off screen in one line that mentions it. Because there's supposed to have been thousands of these things. They get wiped out that quickly. Which, don't get me wrong, I guess human-made Daleks are never going to be as tough as Skaro Daleks. And then one of my big complaints, which I never seem to hear anybody mention, is that the Doctor killed a TARDIS. You know, a living thing, a living TARDIS. She just murdered it. Which, whether that was necessary or not, I don't know. I guess that's debatable. And don't get me wrong, that scene of all the Daleks flying into the TARDIS is pretty cool. And on paper, removed from all the context, seeing how she stops them is pretty neat. But when I stop and actually think about it and realize she killed a TARDIS, What does her TARDIS think of that? Her TARDIS just watched one of her sisters die. So, I don't know. I have a hard time picturing the Doctor just murdering a TARDIS. And that's another, again, Jodie's Doctor. Most other Doctors would have found another way. You put Tom Baker, John Pertwee, Patrick Troughton, David Tennant, Matt Smith, they're going to find another way to do that. I don't think they would have went that route. That seems like the lazy route to me. Now, how, I don't know, but they would have come up with something. That's what they do. I haven't heard anybody else really speak about this in reviews, but it bothers me that she killed the other TARDIS, the second TARDIS, the classic-looking TARDIS that looks better than the interior of her TARDIS. She just basically murdered it, imploded it, and destroyed it. And it just smacks of not something the Doctor would do, unless there was no other way. But the special effects are really nice. The visual effects are really, really good in this story. Just seeing the Dalek fleet, the spaceship, seeing the Daleks pour out and fly around everywhere. Again, the scene where they're all flying in the TARDIS. Beautifully done. I will give Chibnall that. His era is visually stunning. It's very beautiful. The cinematography is very, very good. And I'm sure the show has a pretty good budget. The music is nice. It's not as memorable as Murray Gold's, but it fits the story. I enjoy it. So like I said, the story, Ryan and Graham leaving, I don't really mind. I like their characters, but I really wanted just one companion. I hate the fact that I found out now we have another male companion coming. I don't know the guy. I understand he's like a British comedian. I'm not familiar with him. But I really just wanted the Doctor and Yaz. I really like when there's only one companion, to be honest, most of the time. Because they can't ever pull it off as well as, like, say, the Hartnell and Troughton era. Troughton, to me, handled multi-companions really, really well, and nobody's ever done it as well since, even in the classic series, like the Fifth Doctor's era. Although Tom Baker, Sarah, and Harry actually worked out pretty well, too, the one season they're together. But yeah, I really would have liked to have seen Whittaker and Yaz for season 13. So yeah, Revolution of the Daleks is just kind of okay. It's not bad. I enjoy it. But I don't think it's as good as it could have been. Like I said, I'd give it about a 6.5 out of 10. Anyway, that's my main thoughts on Revolution of the Daleks. I'm glad we at least got it. It's nice to have a little Doctor Who to fill the void while we wait for them to for them to make season 13 to finish it. Check out my main channel, Prowl1701, PROWL1701, where I talk about all things Star Wars. Click the like button, click the subscribe button. Most importantly, stay safe, and thank you for watching.